Hello world, hello Philippines. Good day. Today we're going to continue our discussion with our subject building and enhancing new literacies across the curriculum. So last time we discussed about module 1, and that is the introduction to 21st century literacies. Particularly, we discussed about traditional or conventional literacy, and we have also the expanded views of literacy, and we have literacy in the 21st century. So we enumerated some literacies that we're going to cover in this subject. We have, of course, the globalization and cultural and multicultural literacies, social literacy, financial literacy, the media and the cyber or digital literacy, ecological literacy, artistic and creativity literacy. We have also the critical literacy for all of us. And today we're going to have module 2, which is the globalization and cultural and multicultural literacy. So I'll be sharing to you the screen for our lesson for today. Okay, so today we're going to discuss about globalization, cultural, and multicultural literacies. Okay, so what are expected to us after we finish this module? So we have, of course, the objectives. Number 1 is to discuss global and multicultural literacy. The second one is, of course, to illustrate global competence framework. Then number 3, explain the dimensions of multiculturalism. Number 4 is to present effective ways on how to integrate global multiculturalism in the lesson using appropriate delivery strategies, instructional materials, and assessment tools. Then number 5 is to draw relevant life lessons and significant values from personal experience in demonstrating multicultural literacy. And the last, we're going to draft relevant policy in addressing multiculturalism in the school. Okay, so these are our objectives for this module. Okay, so probably you will be asking what is about globalization and, of course, cultural and multicultural literacy. So I have here a quotation for you to think of. It's about globalization, and the author of this is, or the proponent of this is Nelson Mandela. Okay, so it goes, where globalization means, as it so often does, that the rich and powerful now have new means to further enrich and empower themselves at the cost of the poorer rather, and weaker. So we have a responsibility to protest, okay, in the name of universal freedom. So the main point here is about the universal freedom and globalization for that matter. So this is very true, particularly as of today. We are experiencing a lot of discriminations. Okay, so the richer, or the rich become richer and the poor becomes poorer. So at the end of the day, we are reminded that if we have the opportunity to shine, okay, we need to probably rise up. But however, okay, we need to become responsible by probably, or by our actions, okay, or the way we're going to treat others, and so on. So we have the term globalization. What does it mean, or what do you mean by when we say globalization? It is actually the process of interaction and integration between people, business entities, governments, and cultures from other nations, driven by international trade and investment and supported by information technology. So from, of course, the definition, okay, we have terms that we need to associate when we say globalization. Okay, it's a process, and there is, of course, interaction between people, or integration between people and business, or businesses for that matter. Okay, the governments, okay, the culture of the different nations, and of course, the international trade. Okay, there is always, of course, the positive side of this globalization, and of course, there is the negative side. But however, we cannot depart technology, okay, in the globalization. Question: is globalization really necessary, okay, in our society or in our country? Yes. Okay, so we need to have progress. That is why globalization plays a vital role also. Okay, next we have, of course, the global literacy. So what does global literacy mean? So this global literacy aims to address issues with regards to globalization, racism, diversity, and social justice. Take note, there is the word globalization there, and racism, diversity. We believe that in our classroom, okay, our students are diverse, and social justice is a pressing issues nowadays, or issue nowadays. Okay, nowadays that we need to also to consider, and it requires awareness and action consistent with a broad understanding of humanity. So we need to have understanding of humanity. Okay, we need to understand what is human life, and we need to value, of course, human life. Okay, even the planet that we are probably staying in, the environment, and of course the impact of the human decision in both. Okay, to of course to the humanity, and of course to the planet. So we need therefore to be aware of what we are doing or probably practicing, okay, in our society. So let's have global literacy, okay, as it aims to empower students with knowledge and take action to make a positive impact in the world and their local community. So that's according to GRU in 2014. So take note of the word here, knowledge, and we need to have take actions, okay, in order to have impact, not just probably an ordinary impact, but positive impact, okay, in the world, and of course in the local community where we live. So that's it. That's very nice to have, okay, when we say global literacy. And take note, my dear students, that the effects of globalizations are multidimensional. Okay, so it does not probably focus in one area, or okay, one specific area or dimension, but it's multidimensional. So they range from probably economic to cultural, or both national and of course individual levels. Okay, so from vice versa also. Okay, it can be from individual to the national level, or probably from national to individual levels. Okay, then we have the effects of globalization as summarizes by Mayer in 2000. So the first one is, of course, it relates with economic, political, and military dependence and interdependence between nations. Okay, so whether we like it or not, the quotation, no man is an island, is true. So we are really dependent. Okay, for example, in US, we are dependent. Okay, and if you notice, we have during the time of President Rodrigo Duterte, we have strong ties with China. Okay, so we are actually gaining some probably uh, significant contributions of this Chinese government to ours. Okay, and of course to the U.S. Since then, we are really dependent. Okay, with the United States of America. Then we have the second one is expanded flow of individual people among societies. Okay, so we keep on moving and moving and moving. Okay, and of course, with the movement and with the globalizations that we can have, it means, of course, there is probably an opportunity for the people, okay, to have a job, to have a work, or probably decent living. Then we have interdependence of expressive culture among nations, and of course, the last is expanded flow of instrumental culture around the world. So that's with the globalization that we can have. Okay. What about according to Ontario Ministry of Education? So in 2015, a global citizen should display most of all of the following characteristics. So this is according to Ontario Ministry of Education. Okay, the Ministry of Education is equivalent to our Department of Education in the Philippines. So the first one is, of course, we need to have respect for humans, no matter their race, gender, religion, or political perspective. So it's very true. We need to respect each other. We need to respect our students. Okay, and whether probably what kind of religion they are practicing, political perspectives. It's very common nowadays because of the coming national election or presidential elections. We need to respect political perspective of each. And then we have, of course, respect for diversity and various perspectives. Okay. Take note in this class, or probably in our class, there are a lot of students. There are 40 students. Okay, and this is now diversity. There are probably students coming from other provinces. Okay, not just provinces, but probably regions all over the all over. Okay, the Philippines and even probably in Asia and etc. And of course, we have different perspectives in life. Then we need there is promotion of sustainable patterns of living, consumption, and production. So with diverse people, of course, there is now different patterns of living, different way of consumption, and even production. And of course, appreciate the natural world and demonstrate respectful towards the rights of all living things. Take note, there is respect. Okay, both number 1 and number 4 states that we need to have respect with, of course, the rights of all living things, not just probably humans, but all, okay, that are living in this planet Earth, okay, including, of course, the animals, the plants, and etc. So that's with, of course, global citizenship. Okay, the next is cultural literacy. So when we say cultural literacy, okay, it is the ability to understand and appreciate the similarities and differences in the customs, either, of course, the values and beliefs of one's own culture and the culture of others. So that's nice. Okay, if supposing there are diverse students, or there is a diverse students in your class, or probably in the school, okay, it's just okay. And what is important is that we understand each other. Okay, we probably respect similarities and differences in terms of the customs. Of course, each student has the values and beliefs, okay, of their own culture, and of course, probably of the others. And from American National Council of the Professors of Educational Administration, cultural literacy is the ability to be informed by beliefs and behaviors that have been shared from one generation to another. In what way? Through, of course, oral and written form. Okay, so for example, okay, Bebang, okay, is a daughter of Marites and Bogart. So in order to probably pass the customs and, of course, the beliefs, okay, it can be shared, okay, or passed through, of course, oral. So when we say oral, of course, it's more on stories. Okay, and it can be also in a written form, supposing there are books that would probably tell about this and that, okay, regarding the beliefs and behaviors and even customs. And cultural literacy can create a knowledge and awareness that brings distinct commitment to social justice. Take note of the word social justice. Responsibility to defend human dignity. It's with cultural literacy. Okay, that we need to, of course, commit to social justice. And we have the responsibility to defend human dignity above all, and respect for cultures and languages, okay, associated with different nations and lifestyles. Okay, so it's not just probably the person that we're going to respect, but of course the cultures and the language according to this. Okay, so take a look with the picture. You can see actually a globe raised by different kinds of hands, referring to, of course, the colors. Okay, and there are probably different students, okay, that you can see. So it's with diversity. Okay, however, according to, of course, UNESCO, a culture is a whole complex of distinctive spiritual, material, intellectual, and emotional features, okay, that characterize a society or a group. It is a whole complex, okay, wherein there is spiritual. We need to probably respect the spirituality of a being or a person, the material associated with it, either intellectual or probably the emotional features. So it does not yet probably focus on with what we can see, but of course we can consider the arts and the letters, and even of course the modes of life. When we say modes of life, the way they are interacting, the way they are living, and so on. And of course their the rights of the human being, the value system, the traditions and beliefs. So it's incorporated with the word culture. Okay, so there is human being there that we need to respect, especially the rights, the value system, the traditions, and of course the beliefs. Okay, according to Associate Professor Ferdinand M. Lopez in a culture-based education, okay, culture is the foundation which provides both perspective and principle, framework and methodology, impetus and driver of discussion, assessment and evaluation, upon which skills, abilities, and knowledge regarding the self and the world at large are constituted, mediated, and disseminated. So take note of that. This is also a very powerful definition of what is culture. Okay. There is, of course, the self, wherein there is, of course, the skills, abilities, and knowledge, and of course, the world at large. So in totality, okay, the whole, okay, wherein there is, it's being constituted, mediated, and disseminated. Supposing that is about culture, information, beliefs, okay, the value systems. It should be constituted, it should be mediated, and of course, it should be disseminated. So when I say, of course, culture, it can be both a philosophy of education and a teaching strategy. Okay, how can we say that it can be a philosophy of education and teaching strategy? So it's through this where, for example, instruction and student learning are grounded in the unique cultural beliefs, cultures, or the values, rather, norms, knowledge, heritage, practice, or practices, language, experiences, and cultural expressions of the community. So we need to consider these, okay, things, okay, so that we can probably have the culture as philosophy of education and of course teaching strategy that you can use in disseminating, okay, or propagating cultural beliefs, the values, the norms, the standards, of course, even the knowledge, the heritage, the practices, okay, of the people, the language, spoken experiences, and even cultural expressions of the community, like, for example, festivals, okay, and events, okay, for that matter. Okay. The next thing that we're going to discuss is about, of course, the Philippine culture-based education. So in culture-based education, culture is the core and foundation of education, governance, and sustainable development. So it seeks actually to develop among Filipinos a greater awareness, understanding, and appreciation of our arts, history, geography, and heritage, okay, towards the evolution of the consciousness that will improve the quality of our life. So the main purpose here is to improve one's life or the quality of our life. Okay, so take note of that. There should be understanding. Of course, we need to be aware. We need to appreciate our own culture, our own arts, okay, history and geography, even our own heritage. Okay, so a culture-based education in the Philippines envisions to develop a nation of culturally illiterate and empowered Filipinos. Take note of that. The word is very, uh, captivating. Okay, a nation of culturally literate. So we need to be literate of our own culture. And of course, we are empowered Filipinos. When we say you are empowered, okay, you have the rights, okay, and privileges to stand, okay, in probably different situations. Okay, you can probably excel in whatever things you want, the opportunities that you can have, and so on. So, what are, of course, the characteristics of these empowered Filipinos? So, you are not just probably patriotic and ardent nationalist, but at the same time, you are responsible and committed global citizens as well. Okay, so take note of that characteristics. So we need to become responsible. We need to become committed global citizens as well. Committed, of course, to the growth of our self or ourselves and of course the society. Okay, so take a look with the pictures that you can see in the right side of the screen. Okay, wherein these are the typical Filipino values and systems that we can have. There is in the picture number one, there is respect actually with supposing that is a family as a basic unit of the society. Okay, so there is really trust, love, okay, and respect. Okay, the second one, of course, will tell us about how vast, okay, and how probably rich our culture and of course our even traditions and so on. Okay, so the third one, of course, will show us of being patriotic or nationalistic as Filipino citizens. Okay, so we need to again, we need to be reminded that we need to become culturally literate and empowered Filipinos. Okay, so question is, what is multicultural literacy? So according to Banks in 1996, it is consists of okay, the skills and ability to identify the creators of knowledge and their interests. So the definition is very straight to the point that it actually consists of the skills and the ability to identify the creators of knowledge and of course their interests. Okay, what's the purpose? To uncover the assumptions of the knowledge, to view knowledge from diverse ethnic and cultural perspective, and to use knowledge to guide, okay, to guided actions that will create a humane and just world. So that's it. Very nice, okay, definition and of course purpose of this multicultural literacy. What's the purpose? Okay, so that we could have knowledge and of course we have guided action for creating a humane and just world. So that's it. So if there is of course humane and just world, there is peace, okay, among the populace, okay, or among of course the people, not just probably of the Republic of the Philippines, but of course of the world. Okay, so multicultural literacy then brings attention to diversity and, of course, equity and social justice to foster cultural awareness by addressing difficult issues like discrimination and oppression towards other ethnicities. So very true, there are still okay, part of the world that this discrimination and oppression towards other ethnicities okay, are happening. So because of this concept, multicultural literacy, we are now aware, okay, that discrimination and oppression towards other ethnicities are not good. Okay, it's probably a hindrance to the progress of the society and of course the community. So education for multicultural literacy should help students to develop what, okay, skills, the 21st century skills, which we mentioned in the previous lessons, and of course, good attitudes that are needed to become active citizens who will work towards achieving social justice within our communities. So take note, it's not just the 21st century skills that we need to have or to possess. We need also to have good attitude. Okay, so take a look at the picture. Probably you can see pictures of different races. Okay, and we need to, of course, learn, okay, about the different cultures. Then the second picture would tell you about discrimination. Okay, a person being discriminated. So that's an X. Okay, and another one is it's involved actually the opportunity. Okay, you can see two people, two persons. Okay, in a hurry, they forget probably the old one. Okay, and the other side, uh, in having multicultural literacy, we need to probably understand, okay, that there should be respect, that we should give probably opportunity to all, equal opportunity to all. Okay, so if I'm going to analyze, and if I have, of course, the opportunity, okay, to be in the third picture, if I was the man there, I am going to, of course, not be in hurry. I should probably help the old lady, okay, in the other side. So that's with, of course, multicultural literacy. Okay. Then another thing is that multicultural literacy needs to be transformed in substantial way, okay, or ways to prepare students to function, okay, effectively in the 21st century. So there should be transformation, okay, of this multicultural literacy. So by making small changes within the classroom, it can create big changes globally. So that's it. Okay, any changes, probably particularly in school, should start within the classroom. Okay, so as diversity grows, there is a need for the emergence of multicultural education that is more representative of the students in today's classroom. So by teaching students to be advocates of multiculturalism, we are also sending a message of empathy. Okay, so these are the things that a teacher should do inside the classroom. So this can be probably a small thing, like for example, empathy. Okay, tolerance in schools as a need to develop deeper understanding of others, and of course appreciation of different cultures. So that's according to Banks. Okay, we need to, of course, understand each other, particularly inside the classroom. If there are 40 students, we need to understand, okay, because we came from different probably, okay, backgrounds and races. Okay, and appreciation of different cultures for that. So Marites is having another culture, Bogart has another culture. Okay, we have also Bebang has another culture. So in short, we need to, of course, to understand and appreciate different cultures for that matter. Okay, so the skills and of course the knowledge required to be multiculturally literate are, of course, number one, selflessness. Okay, second one is the knowledge that good and useful things can come from those different from us. And then we, of course, are willing to compromise. Then there should be acceptance that there are limits and idea that we cannot be friends with anyone. Okay, take a look with the picture in the left side. There are two persons probably. Okay, the person at the top is helping the other person. Okay, to probably what, to surpass, to pass probably the trials in life and so on. So that's it. It talks about selflessness. Okay, in order to probably succeed in life, we need to also consider others. So that's it. There should be consideration of others. And the knowledge that good and useful things can come from those different from us. So take note of the picture number 2, wherein you can see, of course, probably a father, okay, or a son, okay, or in other way around, probably this person who is older compared to the young boy is a strange one. But however, of course, okay, you can see happiness in both of them. Probably the person, the older person, okay, is giving an advice or whatever. Okay, so take note. whether we like it or not, there are, of course, um, good things and useful things that come probably from others. Okay, then we need to compromise. There should be willingness to compromise. Okay, successful person or individual tend will tend to probably um, compromise things in life. Sometimes, of course, there are uncertainties in life, but however, of course, as we go on, we can really find, of course, the significance of it, the meaning of it, and so on. Okay. If you're not going to compromise, of course, always remember, no guts, no glory. Okay. Then, of course, we need to accept that there are limits. Okay. That we have, of course, our strengths and weaknesses. Okay. And then the last, it's very true that I would like you for you to remember that we can't be friends with anybody or with everyone. Okay, supposing you have 40 students or 40 individuals inside a classroom, you cannot please all these 40. Okay, so do not worry if you cannot please all. What is important is the majority. So that's it. Okay, so take a risk, always remember, okay, in order to excel. Okay, and then of course, the last is how are multicultural and global literacy interconnected with each other. So if you notice with the picture that you can see in the left side, you can see actually different faces, different races also. So in every classroom contains students of different race, religion, and cultural groups. Then, of course, students embrace diverse behaviors. So we have different behaviors inside a classroom, even cultural values. Okay, the patterns of practice is different. And of course, communication. Okay, in the Philippines alone, we have different probably mother tongue, or shall we say, okay, the vernacular language that we can use. So in order to have understanding, of course, we need to understand each other. We need to respect each other. Okay, if we cannot understand them using their own dialect, of course, we can use English as a medium or probably Filipino. Okay, so yet they are all one commonality. Okay, they share one commonality for them, and that is, of course, their educational opportunity. So that's it. Inside the classroom, there are 40 students, probably in different, they can probably come from or came from different places, okay, different perspectives. Like, for example, a Christian, okay, a Baptist, a Roman Catholic for that matter, okay, and so on, speaking, of course, different languages, okay. But if you are placed inside the classroom, you have that one goal, okay. You have that common goal, which is, of course, to grow, okay, because of this educational opportunity. So you are blessed if, supposing you are studying now and even probably enjoying life, even if there is this COVID pandemic. Okay, so we could probably relate this one, this multicultural literacy and the global literacy with what is happening now. Okay, just probably yesterday, we are once again declared as one of the best or 15 best universities in the Philippines. Okay, so by having that, it's actually an honor and a prestige, okay, of having such. So all of you have educational opportunity. So you need to probably what savor it. Okay. You need to probably enjoy it. And of course, a part of that is to understand each other and of course respect each other. So teachers should teach their students that other cultures exist. Okay. Take a look at the picture. You can see different probably races. And these deserve to be acknowledged. We need to acknowledge individual differences. Okay, even of course the difference in culture. Okay, and we need to respect. So acknowledge and respect. So integrating a variety of cultural contexts into lessons, of course, and activities. Okay, teach your students to view the world from many angles. So you can probably, as teachers soon, you can use some examples that probably would mention about other cultures, about other races, and about other religions, and so on. And with this, probably, okay, we can view the worlds in many or different angles. So that's it. Okay, it's just probably viewing life. We need to see the different angles in life. Okay, so we will not just probably focus on the hardship. Okay, but probably with, of course, the success or successes in life. So that's what different angles, and then creates a respect for diversity. This is very necessary and enables students to learn exciting information through, of course, the culture, okay, of others. So by having probably a sharing of, okay, the custom beliefs and even probably um, the religion, even behaviors and patterns of practice of different cultures, we are, okay, learning, we are getting, okay, information from that. Okay, so that's of course our lesson for today. You can see some of the references which you can use probably to enlighten you more regarding this subject. Okay, thank you and God bless us all. Okay, good day.